Okay. So, yesterday when I was having that experience, right, I was getting these, all this different information that was coming to me. And one of the things, I don't know if you know about like the Vril Society. Um, it was, from what I understand, back with Hitler, there was these women and they had super long hair and they were psychics, and they would go into trances, and then they would get information, and they were talking to aliens, and they were getting technology, and then they were giving it to Hitler, and then he was giving it to the scientists, and then they were developing these machines that the women were getting transmitted from these aliens, and they were building these crafts, these spaceships. And anyways, that's the whole thing. It's interesting and stuff. But so yesterday, when I was getting all this information, I felt like it was like getting flooded, and I had my hair down because my hair's heavy, and it will give me, when I have a headache, it just feels like it's 100 pounds. And my head was just getting so itchy. It was like these tingling, and I was getting all this information, and I was like, what in the hell? How is this all coming in? Is there a thing? Does hair like pick up on it? And so this is what I was shown. Drives her crazy. Me sitting and talking on my phone. She already took my chair. And then as soon as I move over to where she likes to lay, then she'll come and take it. But so what they showed me was that, okay, we all have energy around us. And so we have like an energy field that goes beyond what our body space is. And would you please go lay down? So you have this energy field. So and there's energy out there. There's information coming from all over. And so if your hair is long, then it can, it's like an antenna or something, however long your hair is. And the weird thing about this was I was getting things like, people who think of like rednecks and their way that they think, right? And they have no hair, like shaved head and stuff, or, tight and whatever the little terms are, but less hair. And then you have women who color it and do all these chemicals on it, and that blocks the transmissions, and then they end up being called like bimbos and stuff. And then back in the days, like in the 70s and 60s, when there was all the guys who grew their hair out and they became real like more in touch. It was a lot more of a spiritual time for people. It was breaking away from, these paradigms of, back then it was more of, you had to be like this perfect, there was one way that was being kind of pushed down your throat when you were growing up back then. And the people were breaking away from that, breaking away from this kind of thing. And guys had longer hair, and they seemed to be picking up on this more different messaging. And I was thinking that, well, there is something about this hair and the antenna, and it's transmitting and it's giving you these messages. You have to be tuned in, you have to be listening, you have to acknowledge that it's messaging coming from somewhere else. If you're just always in the mindset of like, you get a message and you're like, oh my God, I'm so smart, I can't believe how smart I am, I just thought of that. And you're all about yourself and your ego and stuff, and you have no, like, you really think your brain just somehow formulated this, then you get caught up in this ego mind, right? And but then when you have a realization that these messages and information is coming from outside of you for your best interest, if you can have discernment to be able to pick and choose what messaging that you are linked to, right? Because there is definitely bad messages out there. You have to be able to decipher. You have to have like a moral compass to know right and wrong. Just because a message comes in, that doesn't mean, oh, that's in my head, so that means that's me, so that means, I guess I should go murder because I'm driven to murder. I think that there's a lot of messages and stuff that we get that we have to say, no, I don't want that message in my head. I don't, you have to take control of what's coming in, the information that's coming in. Your brain isn't just coming up with stuff like it's got a mind of its own. Your brain's got a mind of its own. Anyways, so if you have the messages coming in, and you always have gratitude, like I that's how I live, is by gratitude. Like if I don't know how to do something and I ask, show me how to do it, and you get the message of how to do it. And I don't just go, oh, my brain is so smart, I must be a genius. I'm way more of like, oh, thank you. I'll talk out loud to them too. I don't just talk in my head all the time. But, I'll thank them. Thank them for giving me that information. Thank you for being there for me. Thank you for, it's gratitude and acknowledgement. And then you just get more and more and more and more and more. Like it becomes, I can hear the word in my head, but I can't get it out. But anyways, it becomes, it works together in symbiosis. Well, whatever, I'm going to say some weird word. But anyways, it is a better state. It's more natural state, I believe, is the acknowledgement that there's something more out there and that it is communicating with me. And I can build a relationship with it. And so when they were giving me the information yesterday, and it was like, I was like writing as fast as I could, and it felt like all these different people were giving me the information. And then it was like, oh, I see. It is like layers, like out there, it is layers and layers of energy. And it is like turning a channel, tuning in to what the information you want. The more you tune into it, the more you can get, the more that that they could have to offer. So then that's how you have some of these people who, they say they're channeling aliens. You have some people who are channeling ancestors. You have some people who are channeling collective. You have some people who are channeling, they can hear ghosts, and, it's all the energy and where you focus to pick up on their messages. And it is like, back in the day, I have the reference of changing the channel, and sometimes when you would change it, it would even go in between stations, and you could get a little bit of this station, a little bit of that station, and change it and change it and change it. And that's what it's like. It's where you focus. The frequencies are coming in all the time. And if you can focus, if you can spend time in meditation and focus, if you have certain spirits or entities or whatever that you start working with your higher self that's trying to move you forward, if it's your ancestors that are trying to clear past bad things that have happened. When I have a brother and sister who were both doing our family ancestry, and my brother, he got it back too. I think he was in 900. I think he was 1300. He had gotten way back, And he was sending me some of the names and stuff. So I was looking up about these people when he was sending them to me. I was like, oh my God, we're related to some really bad people. And he was just going in and getting names and stuff. I don't think he was reading about the people, but I went in and read about a few. They were bad, really bad. There was one, the ones that he was sending me that I had seen, it was, they worked alongside of very powerful people, royalty or other powerful people, either in the church or in the army and stuff. I can't really remember the whole thing. The whole thing was that they, one of the guys, he was in Scotland. I'm pretty sure it was Scotland. He had left England, went over to Scotland, and was killing all the Catholics. Killed. It said that he was like the main genocide person of killing the Catholics. And then when he died, people were so outraged they dug him up, took his body and decimated it. I think they pulled it all apart and hung it from a tree. He was not liked. It was bad. And there was another one, and I'm pretty sure he was, I don't know if it was a duke or what, and if he was, how he was involved, I can't remember all the details, but he too, him and his son or whatever that was involved with this, that they had committed crimes, ripped all these people off. I don't even remember all the stuff. It was, more crimes against humanity, no doubt about that. And when they died, same thing. They dug them up and tore them all up, and then they hung their heads on a stick or something. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, there's some of us who are here that are clearing such negativity out of our ancestral lines. And, some people have no awareness of that. And so you do have ancestors that are, sending you information, because one thing is like, you leave this life. Once I leave being Kelly, I can't go back and fix anything. I can't, jump back in, when I was 12 years old and go in and say something nice to somebody that I should have said, or, whatever. You were done with that experience. And then the biggest part of the experience is to look at the experience, to go over the experience, to understand how you affected others, to understand, what your role is and how you affect others and how you want to see yourself and stuff, and expanding yourself as conscious energy, right? And that's a main thing, is having the energy, being energy, but becoming conscious of what you are. And we're in a huge process of that, like another step in that evolution. But and then as soon as I look up 1212, they're always giving me signs and confirmation and